Hi everyone, and welcome to the Laughter Salad Tarot. Today we are going to be doing a Celtic Cross check-in. So check in with a specific situation or just how you're doing in general. We have three options here for you. They're all different Queen of Wands in different decks. Option number one is from the Eternal Visions Illuminated Tarot deck. This is what it looks like. She has that cat by her. Option number two is this beautiful Queen of Wands playing the harp from the Shadowscapes Tarot deck. And option number three is our classic good old Queen of Wands from the Rider-Waite Smith deck, who also has a cat by her that I hadn't noticed before. I guess these all have some sort of animal. This one had foxes. I don't know if you saw down here. But okay, yeah, just take your time, take some deep breaths. So just ask your ancestors, your angels, and guides which file has the most helpful message for you at the moment that you're watching this video. Timestamps will be down below, and I'll see you in your reading. Bye-bye. Oh, did I say that it's 1, 2, 3? I did, right? You got it. So getting started with the Eternal Visions Tarot deck first. Like I said in the intro, this is just meant to be a check-in with yourself, how you're doing in this moment in general, or if you have a specific situation that you'd like more clarity and advice and guidance on, you can think of a specific situation. Now, without further ado, let's pick your cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I like to leave the Queen of Wands out, and she will act as our signifier. So since that's the card you picked, I feel like that's the card that has your energy, so we can get more clear, specific messages for you. So let's get started. This first card covers you. So this is the current status of the situation or of yourself, kind of like in general. And you have the Nine of Swords reversed. So this situation is something that you are pretty anxious about. As you can see, this card is a woman sitting on the bed crying. But the good news is that it being reversed, I feel like that ameliorates slightly the negative meanings of the Nine of Swords. So it's like it's something that you're worried about, and you might be feeling stressed and anxious right now. But there's also like a part of you that knows that it's going to turn out okay, if that makes sense. You know, it's you're worried, you're stressed, but deep down, you know that it's going to turn out okay, and you actually don't need to stress about this, but you are still stressing. This crosses you, so this is whatever might be blocking you, might making you go more towards this worrying and less towards stressing the universe. And you've got the Emperor. Wow, big card to be blocking you, but not to fear. The Emperor. The Emperor is the father figure of the tarot, so if your situation is about a father or a father figure, the tarot here is saying that their expectations of you is what's crossing you and what's bringing about this worry. Even if you don't have a father figure in your life that's very strict, you are just being this strict father figure to yourself. The Emperor is someone that likes control, that likes structure, that likes things to be in a certain proper order, and that doesn't allow for a lot of improvising. And that crosses you right now because you might not be in a state. We'll get more information about where exactly you are as we go along, but basically this worry is coming because you feel like you should be more organized, more structured, more orderly. but you're not necessarily. This grounds you. This is how you view this situation or yourself in general on a conscious level, because it grounds you. So it's like here in your brain, you know? So this grounds you. The Five of Pentacles reversed. So the Five of Pentacles is about material lack, material poverty. And in this picture specifically, you can see that it's a person holding their child and cuddling them close. And very often this is about a worry of not being able to provide not only for yourself, but for those in your family, for your children if you have any, for your loved ones that might depend on you. And that's how you feel the situation on a conscious level. You are in a little bit of a lack mindset at the moment about the situation or about yourself. You're just like worried about money, basically. And this is a situation on a subconscious level. This is what's actually going on here deeper within you that might not be obvious to you, but that it is obvious to the universe and to your subconscious self. You've got the Six of Swords reversed. Six of Swords is all about healing. It's all about letting go of the past. So you need to go through these anxiety and through this worry so that you can heal from it, basically. And Spirit's saying that this concern over material things, over lack, over not doing things in the proper way, is a thing of the past. You know, you're healing, you are rowing away from it, like this man on this boat, you know? And this worry, this anxiety is coming right now so that you can overcome it, you know? This is behind you. So this is the recent past of the situation or of yourself. It's the King of Wands. Wow. So the King of Wands is a leadership figure. You might have recently finished a big project at work or at school, or maybe recently you were feeling like this confident, capable King of Wands, and then it's like the bubble popped somehow, you know, and then all of these worries about the material started flooding in, because the King of Wands is a very spiritual figure, because the Wands is a sort of fire. It can be the suit of spirituality, of drive and motivation. So in the recent past, you might have had this burst of motivation that really made you feel like, I got this, I'm doing it, I'm killing it. But now that's sort of fade away into this like simmering anxiety and worry. This is before you. This is the near future of the situation. Queen of Cups. So in the near future, you are going to find it in yourself to be nurturing towards yourself and gentle and loving. The Queen of Cups is a very compassionate figure. She's someone that's very in touch with her emotions and very able to connect with them and use even emotions that are quote unquote negative to her advantage, you know? So here I think Spirit's telling us that, you know, going through these anxieties, these negative emotions will lead to that healing and will lead you to a place of feeling like the Queen of Cups, of feeling like someone who has so much to give, both to herself and others. This is within you. So this is your attitude towards the situation and towards yourself within the situation. This is how like you view yourself specifically in this situation. You know what I mean? Like this that covers you, this is more how you're feeling. And then this that crowns you, this is how you view the situation in a conscious level. But then this is how you view yourself within the situation. Hope that makes sense. You have Judgment. So you're being a little hard on yourself, sweetie. Like, it's okay. Judgment doesn't have to literally mean judgment, but it also can, you know? So yeah, it's basically you're just being too hard on yourself. You feel like you should be better. You feel like you have this big higher calling. That's what judgment can be about too. But so you feel like you have this big higher calling and you're kind of following it, which is good, but you're judging yourself for not doing it in the proper way exactly, you know? Yeah. This surrounds you. This is the environment around you and how the people around you see you in this situation. You've got the moon reversed. You're kind of a mystery to others, which is fun. The moon, it's a very intuitive card. It's a very feminine card. And I think that means that people around you can see the strength and the depth of your emotions, but they can't exactly see what the emotions are, you know? The moon is already kind of a card of mystery and secrets, and I feel like it being reversed potentializes that in this position, because it's like you're just this far away, distant moon to others that you seem almost larger than life, you know? So others are intimidated and impressed and kind of mystified by you, either in general or as it pertains to whatever situation you were thinking of. Sorry, I have to say the thing. This is your hopes and fears. Four of Pentacles reversed. So you're afraid that you're not going to be able to hold on to whatever material gains you've already manifested. The Four of Pentacles, as you can see upright, it's this woman like clutching this coin, right? And you're afraid that that you're going to drop the coin, you know, that the coin's going to fall from your hands. It's just going to like slip from your hands, you know, especially since it's reversed. It's like gravity would just pull it right down, you know? So yeah, we kind of already knew that, but just confirming it. You're stressed, not only about this like lack mindset, that you, not only that you won't make enough money in the future, but that you will lose whatever money you already made, you know? This is your outcome. So this is going to be the outcome of the situation, or for a general reading, it's going to be the outcome of like how you feel after you work all through these things, you know? Wow. You have the Tower reversed. It's going to be a big shift for you. The Tower is probably the most dramatic card in the tarot. As you can see, there's this big tower and this man's falling away from it. And reversed, I feel like that means that this is going to be a big shift, a big transformation that happens internally, not necessarily in your external world, but within you. You are going to have this tower moment where just like everything shifts, you know? You can see that this like gold stuff here, it's like lightning hitting this tower, and that makes him fall. And you can see that he's wearing a mask, right? And it's like as you fall, you're going to like be able to shed these masks that you've felt the need to wear or been forced to wear by situations or other people in your life. So I'm now going to pull you a card from this Angel and Ancestors Oracle deck. And this will be someone or something that can help soothe your worries of your mostly material concerns, and someone or something that will help you I was gonna like spread it out and then pick it, but this one just burst out and it fits very well, so I'll take it. So yes, this is a spirit, an energy that will help you have this Tower realization, and having that Tower realization will help you come into this Queen of Cups state. And it is the Spirit Fox. Trust your talents in changing times. I love that. I think it's a very appropriate card for this reading. So A, trust that your talents will bring you the money that you are so concerned about. B, as things change, and as you have personal transformations, trust that your talents will get you through it, and that your talents will help you. Even when everything changes, you still have yourself, you still have your talents, you will always have yourself, you'll always have your talents, so trust them. I don't know if you saw in the Shadowscapes Deck, which I know isn't the one you picked, the Queen of Wands, which was our signifier, as you remember, was depicted with foxes, because foxes kind of represent that fieriness that the Queen of Wands has. Let me look in the booklet, see if there's anything. Message. Stay alert as changes in the air, which we picked up with at the Tower reversed. The energies around you are changing at this time, and although it may not always be comfortable, you are equipped with all that you need to survive this shift. You're being presented with opportunities to reach spaces you've never encountered before, and this can make you feel on edge, but be open to these shifts because they really are the answers to your prayers. Call upon Spirit Fox Medicine to help you be seen for who you are, and trust your talents in order to be the best you can be in these changing times. This call upon the Spirit Fox Medicine to help you seen for who you are, I think is part of what this Emperor block is about. Like, maybe you're scared that people in your life will see you as someone who's doesn't have their stuff together, you know, as someone who can't deal with, control, or manage their empire. So, yeah. Call upon Spirit Fox Medicine to help you to be seen for who you are, which is someone who's so resilient. This fox is, the booklet, I didn't read that part, but the booklet talks about how this fox is able to live in the extreme temperatures of the Arctic and also in like urban environments. So this is a fox that's resilient, that's adaptable, and that's you. You're resilient, you're adaptable, you have so many talents, you have all that you need within you to withstand this change, and this change and this worry and this anxiety is coming so that you can heal and become stronger and leave behind the past and roll on to better, brighter, happier times. So this card is, someone, or in this case something, the Spirit Fox, that you can call to for help and for support. But now we are going to ask, what is an action you can take either right now, if this is about yourself in general, or about this situation. So yeah, just some advice from Spirit on what would be a helpful course of action to you to help you let go of this judgment a little bit, and to help you come into these talents and feel these talents. Please, Spirit, advice for the people who picked. You have embracing enthusiasm, shout out to the heaven with happiness, and joy and delight, open your heart to joy as the bottom of the deck. So very similar messages, very aligned with each other. So shout to the heavens with happiness. So instead of looking at the things in your life that you don't have, like this Five of Pentacles, or looking at the things in your life that you do have and being scared that you're going to lose it, like this Four of Pentacles, Spirit's advising you to just look at the things in your life that bring you happiness, and then express that happiness however you feel comfortable doing it, either through art, through journaling, through affirmations, through prayer, through whatever makes you happiest. You know, don't think so much about what is the like logical, correct, orderly, structured thing I should do. You know, don't think about that. Think about what is the things that will make me shout to the heavens with happiness, you know, because that's what we're here for. We're here to be happy. So the advice from Spirit is find something in your environment right now that brings you joy, and then just say, thank you, heavens, for this joy. For this joy. And yeah, thank you, heavens, or whatever it is, the universe that you believe in that brought you that joy. And to finish us off, I am going to pull you a note from the universe on love and connection, because this is one of my things that makes me shout to the heavens with joy, because it's just, all of the cards here make me happy whenever I pull it. You know, there's no card that I'm like, I mean, sometimes there's a card I'm like, I'm not as good as the other, but none of them makes me feel bad. So I always pull one of these when I just want a little happiness. You know, I'll link the decks that I use down below if you are interested in purchasing any of them. I don't usually do that. Maybe I should start doing that. But regardless, please, Spirit, can I have a note from the universe that will make me and the people watching this shout to the heavens with happiness? Okay. I can't look at them because it's not like these cards where the back is all the same, you know? So I have to just do it by touch. All right, what we got? You've got time. Ever wonder what would make life's fleeting pain and sorrow totally and unquestionably worth it? How about living forever, wildly in love, and loved wildly? You have so much to look forward to, the universe. Wow, I love this. I think I've gotten this one before, but always makes me happy nonetheless. So yeah, you've got time. Don't rush yourself. Don't feel like you have to go at a pace imposed on you by society, by the pace that is right, by the order of things that is right. Just remember, you've got plenty of time. You're an eternal being having a human experience, you know? There's no rush about any of it, you know? Like, take your time to heal before you take action, because once you start taking action, things just start happening very quickly and there's no more time to heal, you know? So take whatever time you have now to heal, to find your joy, find your happiness. Remember that, like I said earlier, your time will always be with you. You know, there's no rush to use them, and there's no deadline you have to meet in the greater scheme of the universe. So don't pressure yourself too much. And yeah, I'm really happy that that's how the universe works, that there's time for us to do everything that we want to do. That makes me really happy, and I hope it makes you really happy too. And if it does, treasure that happiness. Shout to the joy, shout to the heavens with happiness if you feel so called. But you know, a shout can be whatever you want it to be. Doesn't have to be literally shouting, but if you're feeling like shouting, go ahead and shout. But like I said earlier, you can shout with art, you can shout with journaling, you can shout with prayer, however you want to express your happiness. So just to give you a quick overview of everything that we talked about, you are right now a little worried, a little concerned, but deep down you do know that everything's going to work out. Part of your concern comes from either a father figure or just a father figure's voice in your head, being like, you should be more responsible, you should be more this, you should be more orderly, you should be more that. When you look at yourself, your situation in general right now, or about the specific situation you ask for, you feel worried about how this is going to make you money, or about how you're going to make money to yourself. But Spirit's saying that right now you should focus on healing, and this anxieties, all these worries are coming so that you can overcome them. In the recent past, you might have had some victory or just a rush of good thoughts that made you feel like almost on top of the world, like this king, you know, like someone who's got it, someone who's like good at following their path, following their intuition, and leading others on the right path. And in the near future, by doing all this healing, you will be able to be this Queen of Cups and be nurturing and compassionate to both yourself and others. You are looking at yourself with a little bit of judgment, but you also know that this is something that you are called to do, that it's part of your higher purpose. The people around you see you as kind of a mystery. They can't really figure you out. And truly, no one can ever truly understand you in the way that you understand you, because only you know everything that you've been through. So why worry about their opinions, you know, because they'll never be able to truly see you for who you are, fully, you know, 100%. You are afraid of losing whatever material abundance you've already been able to manifest for yourself, and your outcome is going to be that you are going to have a drastic change of heart, or a change of feeling, or change of thought pattern that's going to be like falling from this tower, but it will also be a relief in a way, because you know that you need this change, you know? Whenever you feel hesitant, scared about this change, call upon the fox spirit, call upon your own resilience and your own adaptability, and remind yourself that your talents are so powerful. They're so powerful and you can trust them. Something that you can do right now or right after you finish watching this is shout to the heavens with happiness. Find something in your life that makes you happy and rejoice in it, celebrate it. And lastly, the universe would like to remind you that you've got time. There's no rush. In the grander scheme of the universe, if it takes you a month to do this, great. If it takes you 6 months to do it, great. If it takes you a year, 2 years to do it, great. 2 years is nothing in the grand history of humanity. You know, humanity has been around for what, billions of years, millions of years, I'm not sure which. And even within your own life, you know, if you live to the general expected age, like the general life expectancy age of like 70, you know, 2 years, that's nothing, especially since this is something that you feel really called to and that will be able to bring you your biggest happiness. So it's worth doing it calmly and doing it right. There's no rush. I hope that was helpful, group one. Please let me know in the comments if you have any questions. Check out the link to my Patreon in the description below if you would like access to more videos like this, as well as other types of videos and content. And I will see you in my next video. Bye bye. Hello group 2, and welcome to your reading if you picked this Shadowscapes Tarot Queen of Wands. So like I said in the intro, today we are going to be a Celtic cross. We're going to be doing a Celtic cross to check in with ourselves in general, or if you have a specific situation in mind that you would like some clarity or advice on, you can think of that situation. But if not, it's just going to be how you're feeling, why you're feeling that at this time, and steps you can take to feel either better or more of the same if you're already feeling good. All right, 10 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I like to leave the Queen of Wands out just as our signifier to help, you know, tap into your energy, since this was the card that you picked and that you were focusing on and making your choice. So let's get right to it. This first card, this covers you. So this is how you're feeling right now, or how the situation is doing right now. And you've got the Moon. The Moon's a very intuitive card. if this is just how you're doing in general, right now you're really in a period of introspection and of focusing on yourself and kind of on the darker, more hidden parts of yourself. If this is about a situation, this is a situation that requires you to tread carefully and where you can't quite see where you're going because, you know, obviously the moon comes out at night and obviously at night it's dark. And the moon can be about following that path in the darkness that you can just barely see by the light of the moon, but knowing it's the right path because of your intuition and because of the slight light of the moon, you know? So this is a situation that requires you to be intuitive and to trust that you're going in the right direction, even if you can't really see every detail of the path you're on because it's dark and it's nighttime. So yeah, you're in a very intuitive place. You're in a very calm, serene place. You know, this card, she really gives me a feeling of serenity. And you know, does the word serene come from Selene, the moon in Latin? I don't know if it does, but it sounds similar, so I'm willing to take it. So yeah, you're in a place of serenity and deep inner knowing right now. This crosses you. This is whatever is making it difficult for you to find the serenity. This can be a blockage or a barrier in your path, but in milder cases, it can just be something that you're chewing over. You know, it doesn't have to necessarily be like this huge mountain that you have to surmount, but it can just be something that you're like dialoguing with, you know. And you have the Page of Wands, interesting, and this crosses you. So the Page of Wands is a very inspired figure, and she's someone who creates effortlessly. You see how she's playing that violin right now, like in the picture, and it's so easy for her, and she just finds it easy and natural to follow her intuition and to play whatever she is inspired to play. And yeah, the Page of Wands is a quite fearless figure as well. She doesn't worry about how far she still has to go. She just focuses on where she is now, and that long path is just exciting to her, that there's still so much growth to achieve. And this is what crosses you right now, right? So this is a little difficult for you. So like I said, you are in this deep intuitive place, but you're finding it a little hard to translate that intuition into creation. You know, she's playing that song, she's creating, and ultimately that's what we all like to do, right? Creating is so much fun. But yeah, you're struggling to create as effortlessly as you would like and as inspiredly as you would like, you know, and you're a little impatient. You know, you see how far you still have to go and you just want to go, you just want to go, you just want to go. But like I said, you're kind of in this calm, serene, passive energy right now because you know intuitively that it's not the time to go, but you're kind of struggling with that because you want to go, you want to do it, you know? This crowns you. This is how you view the situation on a conscious level, you know, like our brains crown. So this crowns you, and it's the Ten of Wands. You feel a little burdened by the situation, or by life in general, if you didn't have a specific situation in mind. As you can see, this woman has an entire city that she's carrying on her back, and she feels that it is her duty to continue to hold it, but she doesn't realize that if she were to walk away and, you know, place the city elsewhere, the city can thrive without her, and she's almost self-martyring unnecessarily, you know? So yeah, you feel very burdened by the things that you have to do or by the people that depend on you. But in this card, especially in the Ten of Wands, this is a burden that you can put down and everything would still be fine, you know? This pressure, you don't have to keep carrying it. This is a situation on a subconscious level, or what's going on within your subconscious. And you have the Eight of Swords, which is a quite challenging card. As you can see, it's the swan surrounded by these swords, and it's kind of like the more she thrashes about, the more she hurts herself. And it's kind of like if she just calmed down and slowly try to maneuver herself out of that situation, she would be able to do so, because it's like there is space in between the swords and in between the thorns for her to get out. But as she panics and like flails her wings, she only gets more entangled. And this is the situation on a subconscious level. So it's like on the surface, you're this calm moon, but deep down you feel trapped. You feel trapped, restricted, unable to do the things you want to do and go to the places that you want to go. And what this moment in your life is about is learning to not thrash about like the swan is learning to just stay still and listen to your intuition, so that you can slowly, not quickly like the Page of Wands would, slowly make your way out of this restrictive place, you know? So this situation, these feelings have come into your life to help you learn how to do things more calmly and to do them in a way where you don't hurt yourself further. This is behind you. This is the recent past of the situation. And you have the Six of Swords. The Six of Swords is about healing. As you can see in this picture, it's the swan carrying away this child from something that was hard, that was very difficult, that hurt this child deeply, which is why they're asleep as they rest on the swan's back. So in the recent past, maybe you did some work with your inner child, or just something happened in your life that brought up traumas from the past, and you feel like you healed that then as it came up in this recent past, but it's still trapping you. You know, you healed as much as you could up to that point, and you had a moment of like rest and reprieve, but then the swords came back, you know? This is before you. This is the near future of the situation, and it's the Hermit. That makes sense. The Hermit is about withdrawing from the external world, withdrawing from material things and going within our spiritual selves. You know, the Hermit, it's like someone who's gone up a very, very tall mountain with only that little lantern to guide him and himself and his own intuition. And as you go be up on your mountain, you're able to let go of attachment to material things, because that's partially what's hurting you here. You know, it's that over attachment to the material, not even necessarily money, but just whatever in your life is already manifested. You know, before you can manifest even more, you have to let go in your heart of whatever is already manifested, because if you don't, you just keep manifesting what you already have, and that's not what you want. You want to expand, you want to manifest new things. So before you can manifest new things, you have to let go of the things that you've already manifested and focus on the new things. And you can only do that when you bring yourself away from these already manifested things. And I mean, I don't mean you're going to like literally go on a retreat or go climb a mountain, but this is a spiritual journey, right? If you can't literally materially withdraw from your world, it's about you withdrawing your energy from that and instead focusing that energy on yourself, on self-development, on spiritual development. And this isn't forever. This is in your near future, having this period of isolation and introspection. And, the hermit journey, it's about, going up to the mountain, connecting with your spirituality, but then it's also about coming down from the mountain and using the lessons that you learned as you were exploring your spirituality to create whatever it is that you want to create in the material world, So you will come down from the mountain eventually, but just not quite yet. This is within you. So this is how you see this situation, or like how you see yourself in this situation. This is how you see your own role in the situation. And you have justice. So it makes sense to you. It makes sense to you that this is where you ended up based on the actions that you took in the past and on the thoughts you had that led to these manifestations, you can kind of see that we live in a balanced world and that you get what you think about or what you focus on. Whatever you focus on, you get more of that. And you see that there's a cosmic universal balance that makes things happen. And maybe because this is about justice, you feel like it's just for you to suffer and to bear these burdens to atone for something. You feel like you need to go through this to atone or to make up for something that has happened in the past. But the universe doesn't require atonement, but yeah, this is how you view this, like these, you're suffering now to atone for something in the past, even though this suffering is subconscious, but the bearing the burden is conscious. You're bearing this burden now because it's what you manifested, it's what you asked for, and so it seems fair, it seems just to you that you have this burden because you asked for it in some way. This surrounds you. This is how the people around you view you or the situation. And it is the Four of Pentacles. So as you can see, the Four of Pentacles is this dragon curling around this big coin, just sitting on his hoard. And it's a little strong to say that the people around you view you as greedy. That's not exactly right, but they view you as someone who's clutching too tightly to what has already manifested. That's what the pentacle is here. It's whatever you've already manifested, and the people around you see you like curling around you, like around it like a dragon. And this doesn't have to be a negative. I'm not saying people in your life are like, oh, that person, they're so greedy and bad. But, they do feel that you have an over-attachment to what has already manifested, like I was talking about with the Hermit, right? The Four of Pentacles is also about stability. So they also see you as someone who's very stable. So there is that positive side of it. They see you as someone who's very stable, who has manifested great things, and it makes sense when you've manifested great things that you would be attached to it. So there's that as well. This is your hopes and fears. So this is what you hope for and fear. The Chariot. Action. You just want to take action. You just want to go. This card's one of the hardest one because it's so light. It's all these tones of light blue, so it may be hard for you to see it clearly. I'll do my best to adjust it in post so that you can see it more or less clearly, but it's a person standing on a chariot that's being pulled by two unicorns on top of a very turbulent sea. And that's what you want. You just want to be this person on the chariot, doing things, you know, kicking butt and taking names. You know, that's what you want. You want to be acting, you want to be doing it, you want to be going where you want to go. And that's what you hope for. You hope that one day you will get to that place. And I have so much faith that you will. It's just not where you are right now. You're still in this moon passive energy right now, but like I was saying with this Page of Wands, that feeling of impatience, that feeling of wanting to do something, that's what you hope for, to be able to do something. The Chariot is a card of action. It's a card of also balance, balancing your light and your dark side and using both to pull you forward, you know. It's not like this in this one. In this one, both of the unicorns are white, but often it's a white unicorn or like a white horse and a black horse, or whatever animal it is pulling the chariot. And that symbolizes, you know, taking both sides, the light, the shadow, and making them work together for you to pull you to wherever you want to go. So, yeah, that's what you hope for. Taking decisive, inspired action. Because the chariot, it's very decisive and it's also very inspired. You know, they know where they're going and they're not forcing it, you know, and they're able to, even on this very turbulent sea that's like, they're able to maintain that balance, maintain their calm, and still go where they need to go. And that's what you want. You want to be able to do the things that you want to do no matter what's going on around you. You just want to have that inner balance that allows you to take the action that you need to take. This is your outcome. If you were thinking about a specific situation, this is going to be the outcome of that situation. And if you weren't, this is just going to be the outcome of kind of this reading, you know, your feelings after exploring all of these, you know. And you have, wow, the Two of Cups. So sweet. I love the Two of Cups in every deck, but I especially love it in this deck. Like, look at it. It's just three beings intertwined around each other and just loving each other. And in your reading here, because you didn't have any Cups cards, I don't think this is you meeting someone else, you entertaining with someone else. I think it's about you connecting with your true emotions and with your inner self or your higher self, however you view it, and just falling in love with yourself, you know, and yeah, just intertwining the different parts of yourself and finding harmony within yourself. And that's your outcome, you know, finding that harmony. So I love that. I love that for you. So, since you got the moon as your Discovers You card, I am going to get you an advice card from the Moonology Oracle deck. So this is something that you need to know that will be helpful for you in your journey of introspection and of reaching ultimate love for the self, for every part of the self. Let's see. I really only wanted one, but Spirit wanted me to take two. So your first one is meditate and contemplate, new moon in Pisces. So I think I've already talked about this a lot with the Hermit and even with the moon card itself. Just meditate and contemplate, meditate and contemplate. That's what you need to do to receive the insights that will help you. That will help you in your journey. Just meditate and contemplate, meditate and contemplate. You also have, look at the bigger picture, full moon in Sagittarius. Yeah, so this is encouraging you to have a broader view and also to with this feeling of impatience, of wanting to act, like look at the bigger picture, not just like what an action will do for you in this moment, but what it will do for you in the long term, to wait until you have inspired action. You know, how it will help you in the long term, in the bigger picture, to take your time and do things slowly and calmly and with being careful of yourself. You know, that's another thing with this Eight of Swords, because, you know, sometimes when you're panicking and you're thrashing about and you're like, obviously you can feel the thorns digging into you, right? But because you're so panicky and you just want to act, you just want to go, you're heedless, you don't mind whatever pain it is that you're causing yourself in your thrashing. And this full moon in Sagittarius is like, look at the bigger picture. Look at, like, if you hurt yourself now for just a bit of action that isn't even inspired, is that worth it? Is that worth sacrificing your bigger plan, your bigger calling, your bigger life? You know what I'm saying? This card can also be about seeing how far you've come, you know? With the Six of Swords, maybe you've had recently a healing experience that allowed you to partially heal from your past. So this full moon in Sagittarius is like, when you're meditating and contemplating, also contemplate on how far you've come, on how much you've already healed, and how you still have a long way to go to heal. But once you do, that will be such a beautiful big picture. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, yes. To finish this off, I am going to pull you a love note from the universe. Notes from the universe on love and connection. That's what it's called. I love this deck. I find it very helpful. Almost every card on it makes me smile. So I find this deck very helpful, very sweet. So I'm gonna pull you some insight from the universe that maybe you can ponder on when you are doing your little hermit. For this one, I really have to close my eyes because, like, I don't know if you can see, but like this, it doesn't have a back that's all the same, you know? It's a two-sided deck, so I can't really look at them as I pick, or I might pick based on whatever cards I already know to be true. What's going on? This one? Okay. Wow. Prepare to be astounded. Send them love. Wish them peace. See them happy. Everyone, always, forever. And prepare to be astounded, the universe. P.S. Oh man, and will you ever become a big time manifester? Wow. Love this. Love this, love it. Love it. Love it. I don't think I've ever gotten this card before. So that's fun. But okay. So, what this prepare to be astounded is to me is because you just want to do things. You don't see how going into yourself and introspecting will be helpful at all in your bigger picture, in your bigger plan. The universe is saying prepare to be astounded just by doing this introspection and by sending them love, wishing them peace, seeing them happy, everyone, always, forever. You have results that will astound you. You don't get results by your action, by forcing action when you don't feel inspired to act. That just leads to false starts and frustration and blockage after blockage after blockage, you know? So even though you might be a little skeptical that doing nothing, because you're not doing nothing, you're introspecting, you're thinking, but doing no actual physical action, you're a little skeptical that will yield you the results that you really, really want. And the universe is saying, prepare to be astounded, and oh man, will you ever become a big time manifester. That's how you become a big time manifester, by going within and connecting to your higher inner self and loving your higher and inner self, you know? Wow, group 2. I loved your reading. This was great. This was great energy. I hope that you found it helpful. Let me give you a quick recap of everything that we went over. Right now, you are in an intuitive place. You might be receiving a lot of messages from the universe, or you might be feeling like your intuition is going into overdrive. You know, you're just getting a lot of intuitive messages, and you're in this like really passive, non-acting energy. You are frustrated by the passiveness of this energy and by the fact that you can't create as effortlessly as you would like to. You also feel like you're burdened with something. Might be your job, might be your family, might be your love life. You just feel burdened. You feel like this is a burden, like this is your cross to bear, you know? On a subconscious level, this is not actually a burden, but a learning opportunity, and this will teach you how to get out of sticky situations calmly and without hurting yourself, rather than just trying to rip through all these thorns and tear up your wings in the process, which will then make you unable to fly. Look at the bigger picture. You want to be able to fly, right? So don't thrash about and hurt yourself to get out of this temporary restriction that you're in. Don't cause long-term damage to get out of a short-term restriction, you know? In your recent past, you might have recently been able to partially heal from something in your past, or have a moment of reprieve where you were able to look into these things a little more, but it's not done. The job is not done, and in your near future, you are going to go within yourself, do some introspection so that you can fully heal and reach the highest, best self you can be. You feel like this burden is on you, and like this restriction is deep within you. You feel like that's fair based on the actions that you took in the past, or in the like thoughts that you had in the past. It all seems logical to you, but that doesn't mean you like it. People around you see you as someone who's very stable, who has like the money that they need to live the life that they need, but they also worry that you might be a little too over-attached to that money. You hope and you wish for a day where you can feel really balanced, where you can take action and know that it is the right action, and know that it will lead you where you need to go, because you are the reins. You want to take the reins of your own life. You want to be making your own choices. And your outcome is that going through all of this, doing all of this, especially this introspection stuff, will allow you to reach depths of self-love that you haven't felt before, you know? Sometimes it's easier for us to love others than to love ourselves. And you may be, you know, when you're in a relationship, you're able to like see your worth and like yourself because someone else is seeing your worth and liking you. So you can just, you know, that's easier. But your outcome is that it's going to be that you're going to be able to love yourself in the same way that you've loved others and that you've been loved in the past. Or in the way that you thought was only possible within a relationship. You only thought it was possible to receive this much love if you had someone outside of you that was loving you, that was giving you that love. But it's possible for you to give it to yourself, and that's going to be your outcome. Your advice is to meditate and contemplate, like I already said with the Hermit. Look at the bigger picture, like I was saying with this. Don't force action right now, because it's just gonna, it's like if you get an injury, right? If you like mess up your knee playing football, and you know, you're really frustrated, you want to get back out there on the court and, you know, throw the ball, but why did I pick this up? It's not really what I meant to do. But if you go out there before you're actually ready, before you're actually fully healed, you might just mess up your knee even more and put your whole football career in jeopardy. You know, I guess assuming in the situation that you want to be a football player. But, you know, just be patient. Don't put your future in jeopardy just because you feel restricted and trapped now. And look at the bigger picture. And last but not least, then just get ready to be amazed by all the things that the universe will bring you with very little effort. That was the thing that was hard for you, right? Manifesting effortlessly. And when you go into yourself, do this introspection, and when you start loving yourself that deeply, man, the stuff that's gonna come to you, I can't even. It's so much. It's so much. You're going to be a big time manifester, like this card says. And I'm so happy for you. Like I said before, I really enjoyed this reading, and I hope you did too. I had a really great time. And yeah, check out the link to my Patreon down below if you are interested in accessing more content from me. And either way, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your energy, and I'll see you in the next one. Hi everyone, and welcome to your reading if you picked the Rider-Waite Smith Point of Wands, the classic, the OG. Happy to see you. So like I said in the intro, today we are doing a Celtic cross just to check in on how you're doing in general, just to check in with yourself, or if you have a specific situation in your mind, to check in on that situation, you know, like you need a little more clarity on like, what's going on with that, you know, spirit, help me out, what's going on there? But if you don't have a specific situation, it's like, you know, what's going on in here? You know, what's going on there? You know, in your heart, if this wasn't clear enough. But without any further ado, let's get right to it. Let's do this. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Ba-ba-bum. So, first, this covers you. This is how you're feeling right now, or how the situation is doing right now. And you have the 10 of Pentacles. Woo-woo! I want to do that. You know the air horn sound? Like, pew pew, pew pew. That is not what it sounds like. If I feel up to it when I'm editing, I'll find it and add it in here for you. Sorry, a bit of a tangent, but I really like the air horn sound. And this DJ that I knew when I lived in a really small town always used it. And I really thought that was like his thing, you know, but I guess turns out a bunch of DJs use the little air horn sound, but I digress. Either way, you're killing it. The 10 of Pentacles is a card of like abundance, the kind of last stage of a very abundant life, you know, because it's the 10. That doesn't mean you're at the end of your life, but yeah, it's just about abundance. Pentacles usually about material abundance, so you might be rolling in it right now, but even if you're not, because the question was how you're feeling, you feel like you're rolling in it, even if you're not actually rolling in it, which honestly is even better, you know, because it means that if you feel like you're very abundant, but you don't have that abundance yet, that means that it's going to manifest soon because you're feeling it, right? And the fact that you can feel it without even seeing it is even better because it means you're not dependent on having the abundance to feel abundant. So yay, congrats, you're feeling very abundant. If this is about a situation, the situation is an abundant situation that either is already bringing in dough or will bring in dough later. The 10 of Pentacles can also be about like your legacy, you know, so if this is a situation that will be your legacy in the future, you know, will be what you leave behind for your children and grandchildren and for generations to come, you know. So yay, this crosses you. This can be a barrier or a blockage that is blocking this abundance, but especially since you got such a positive card as your first card, this doesn't necessarily have to be a big blockage or like a big mountain that you have to surmount. And it can just be something that you're like chewing over, that you're just like, you know? And you have the 8 of Swords. Wow, we're playing with extremes here, I guess. The 8 of Swords. It's about feeling restricted and limited. So even though you feel very abundant, maybe because that abundance hasn't manifested yet, you feel you don't feel free to spend the abundance, or you don't feel free to do the things that you want to do. You know, as you can see in the card, it's this like woman who's like tied up and surrounded by swords and blindfolded, right? But the trick about the Eight of Swords is, yes, her arms are bound. Yes, she's surrounded by swords, but the swords are all behind her and her legs aren't bound. So if she just starts walking, she can go. But she doesn't start walking because she's blindfolded and her arms are tired, so she's scared, you know, naturally. But the trick to getting out of the Eight of Swords is just doing it anyway, being afraid, but doing it anyway, walking anyway. And, you know, once you start walking, you know, you can find a sharp rock to cut your ropes. And then once you cut your ropes, you can untie your own blindfold or whatever. But yeah, you're feeling restricted by your circumstances, but the way to get rid of them is just do it anyway. This grounds you. So this is how you see the situation on a conscious level, you know, how you view it with your brain. You have the Ace of Wands reversed. So the Ace of Wands is something that has a lot of potential. It's something that you feel passionate about and motivated about, but since it's reversed, you almost feel like it's a false start, you know, like it didn't quite catch on in the way that you hoped that it would. So you're just kind of viewing it as a bit of a dud right now. Because you have the Ten of Pentacles covering you, it's like you still feel abundant despite this false start, because you know that it will come in from somewhere. But yeah, you're just viewing it as a bit of a dud, you know, something that really seemed like it was going to take off, that was going to be amazing, and then it just didn't. And now you're seeing it as something that didn't. Yeah. This is a situation this is beneath you, and this is the situation on a subconscious level. So going on deep within you that you might not be consciously aware of, but the universe is definitely consciously aware of. When the universe looks at this is what the universe sees. And it's the Three of Cups. And it's about celebration, especially celebration with friends. So the universe doesn't see this thing that it seems a false start to you. The universe only sees the good in the situation, and it sees it as something that is worth celebrating, you know? So yeah, on a subconscious level, you are celebratory. You are still excited about this. You're still hoping that it will pan out and you will be able to celebrate it with friends, that will pan out not just in a way that makes you feel abundance, but in a way that the people around you, your friends, see and feel that abundance and toast it with you and celebrate it with you, you know? And the universe is already celebrating. They're already at the celebration part. But you wanted your like actual physical friends to celebrate with you. That's what this is about for you too. This abundance, it's about bringing you closer to your friends and celebrating with your friends. This is behind you. This is the recent past of the situation. And you have the Lovers reversed. Interesting. So you recently had to make a choice. The Lovers, especially here, is about there being two paths that you can follow, and then you pick one. And one of the paths is like your ultimate lovers that will bring you forever happiness, and the other one of the paths is just not as good. And in the recent past, you made that choice, but like I said here, you're afraid that you made the wrong choice and that it's actually a dud and that this was actually a false start. Or like that's what your brain worries about, you know, but deep down, you know that this is something to be celebrated, you know? This is before you. This is the near future of the situation. And you have the King of Cups. Yay! So yeah, in the future, you're gonna feel settled. You're gonna feel emotionally mature. The King of Cups for me, the biggest word for him is emotional maturity. You know, whatever happens, whatever emotions you're feeling, you're able to acknowledge them, embrace them, but not let them overwhelm you, you know, and that's in your near future. You're going to be at a place where you just feel balanced, stable. Because you're so emotionally mature, you're also able to be compassionate, you know, even if someone near you is like throwing a tantrum, throwing a fit, you don't let that affect your balance, affect you, and you're able to like be compassionate about it. You know, like, yeah, they're doing something that really pisses me off or would have pissed me off in the past, but I can see that they're doing it because they're hurting, you know, and yeah, you're able to have that compassion of seeing that whenever someone does something that hurts you, it's because they're hurting, you know? That's your near future. This is within you. So this is how you see yourself in this situation. Like this is how you see the role that you play here in this abundance situation. You have the Ace of Swords reversed. So interesting. You're so funny, group 3. It's like you don't trust yourself, even though you feel all of this. You don't trust yourself, and maybe that's what you're in your near future. That's why that's in your near future, this King of Cups, because as you go through the situation, you're able to trust yourself like a king does, you know. But with the Ace of Swords reverse, so the Ace of Swords is about beginning a matter of the mind or a matter of communication. That's what the Aces are all about. They're all about beginnings. And with the Ace of Swords being reversed, you feel like you're not able to express clearly what's going on here. Yeah. And that's why you can't get the celebration out of the subconscious and into the conscious, because you just can't express to others everything that's going on with you and this abundant thing that you have, but that you don't have because it was a false start, but that you do have because you know it, and that you do have because the universe knows it and the universe is celebrating with you, but you're not able to speak on it, you know, or yeah. This surrounds you. This is how the people around you view you or the situation. And you have the King of Wands reversed. So people around you see you as someone who has like so much potential and so much potential to be a leader that you're not really realizing as much as you could be. But they don't have all the details. They don't have all the information because you can't communicate it to them properly. So they view you as someone who's not coming into their own king self as much as they could be. Yeah. And they see you as someone who's kind of waiting too long to take action or taking action on the wrong thing, because upright, the King of Wands is about taking inspired action that inspires others and leads others. But reversed, it's like the people around you are like, what are you doing? Like, is this the thing that you should be doing? Like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, we trust you. We know that you're a king, but are you sure this is the thing you should be doing? But you know, don't be too hard on them because they don't know. They don't know all the abundance that's coming to you. They don't know. They don't have the full picture, and that's why they are doubting you slightly. But you know, once you get to your King of Cups place, you're not even going to care that they're doubting you, because you know the truth, and you know that they only doubted you because they doubt themselves in some ways. Sorry to drag your environment, people, but yeah. This is your hopes and fears. Six of Wands. You want to be victorious. So the Six of Wands, as you can see, it's this man on this horse, and he's like walking around town in this festival, just like being celebrated. It's about victory, it's about winning, and more than that, it's about public victory, public winning, public recognition. You want the people around you to see you as a king. You want to be able to celebrate with them. Yeah, you want everyone to look at you and be like, that's a winner. You know, they were right. They did the right thing. They made the right choices. They are an amazing leader and they're just awesome. So you want to succeed, and you want to succeed so unquestionably that no one will be able to question it. You want to succeed so thoroughly, so much, so abundantly that no one will be able to question it, and everyone will recognize your awesomeness and celebrate you with you. Which, I mean, yeah, I feel like we all want that to a degree, but you know, that's what you hope to will come out of this situation. And last but not least, this is your outcome. The Fool. So the reason this feels like a false start is because you're still at the beginning. You know, you are still this fool. And as you release yourself from the restrictions of this Eight of Swords, you're able to go into your life in general and this situation specifically as a fool, as the fool, as someone who is reckless and impulsive and maybe doesn't think things through and maybe doesn't know as much as a smart person knows, but things work out for them anyway. And do you know why things work out for them? Because they trust the universe and they trust their instincts. You know, they don't need book learning or fancy degrees or anything to find success, to find that public recognition, because they have a big heart and they follow their big heart. And that's going to be your outcome, you know, as you work through these feelings and get to this place of being the King of Cups. Eventually you get to this place where you're just able to go on a carefree adventure, doing whatever you want and finding success along the way. How lovely. Great outcome card. I'm so happy for you, group 3. Okay. I am now going to pull you one or two, I guess one or two, Sacred Traveler card that will tell you an action you can take that will help you right now in your journey. Boop, 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 boop. All right. Traveling lightly, simplify your life. So this is very much what the Fool does, right? As you can see, he really only has that little knapsack with him. He doesn't bring anything with him that can weigh him down or slow him down. And that's what you also need to do in your journey. You don't need to bring other people's expectations with you. Anything that doesn't serve you, just leave it behind. Just simplify your life. Just focus on the things that bring you joy and results. Card meaning. Release what doesn't support you. A busy life and the accumulation of more than you need creates static. On the journey, we often gather things that don't support us. It's time to say goodbye to fellow travelers, situations, and objects that don't bring out the best in you. If someone doesn't believe in you, they don't matter. Drop them. And you don't have to like never see them again, especially if this is like a family member or, you know, people in your life that you still would like to keep in your life. But if you're not dropping them, at the very least, drop their opinions. Keep what works and let go of the rest. So, as you let go of the things that you don't need and that don't serve you, you are going to need something that does serve you. So, with the Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck, I am going to pull a card that will be something or someone that you can call upon to help you in your journey. This one. This one. Star Ancestor. Follow the voice of your soul. So this is like what I was saying before with the Fool. You know, the Fool is successful because the Fool follows their instincts, and you know, our instincts come from what we have learned in past lives or guidance that we are receiving from ancestors, or angels or guides or whatever it is that you believe in, from our soul. Follow the voice of our soul. So yeah, follow the voice of your soul, the inspiration from your soul. And since this is about star ancestors, it can also be about just like otherworldly beings supporting you, if you believe in those. And it might be helpful to you to just go stand outside and look at the stars and just feel our smallness in comparison to those stars. You know, you've probably seen this phrase before, that we're made of stardust, right? And that's because, like, if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, which is the idea that all of the universe was created by two forces, atoms, things colliding and then exploding, and that explosion, then the stuff that exploded, sorry, this isn't a very scientific explanation. You can go read the Wikipedia article for the Big Bang Theory if you want a good explanation of this. But basically, these two objects collided and made a big explosion, right? And then there were like hydrogen atoms and like helium atoms and all the different things. And then because of gravity, the things that were similar attracted themselves to each other. And, you know, that's how planet Earth was made and all the things on planet Earth. And matter, because matter cannot be created nor destroyed, the same thing that made the stars that we look at is the things that made us. Ooh, that was not a great explanation, I'm not gonna lie to you. I hope you got it nonetheless. You know, I hope you got the general feeling. You know, do some googling about the phrase "we are stardust" if you want a more, you know, clear explanation. Science is not my forte exactly, but that is the general idea as I understand it. Basically, we are all part of this big universe. Follow your soul. And last but not least, I'm going to pull you a card that's a note from the universe on love and connection. These cards just always make me happy. They have very sweet messages, and I just like ending on a positive note. So this is what the universe / the stars has to say to you. These cards they're like double-sided, so it's not like this where all the ends are the same. So I really can't look when I pick where I might pick based on what card I know it is, rather than just feeling. Okay. I just want to pick them all because I like all of these cards so much, but let me focus. So unfortunately, the camera stopped recording when I pulled your last card, and I didn't notice, and I closed out your reading to no one. So your last card was "You're being watched by loving eyes. What if you're actually an ancient gladiator of love and joy who agreed to visit Earth during these primitive years to spark some new thinking, share a few smiles, and help others discover that they too are awesome? Just saying, the universe." So I think this goes along pretty well with your Angels and Ancestors card, which was the Star Ancestor, right? Because I feel like this card also relates to the concept of star seeds, if you believe in that and subscribe to that. And that's basically the idea, right? That you're an ancient gladiator of love and joy who agreed to visit Earth during these primitive years to help us along. And what the universe is saying here is, regardless of whether you identify with the starseed narrative or not, we are all supported by the stars, by the universe, and you're always being watched and supportive by loving eyes, people, things, forces that want us to thrive, that want us to succeed. You know, so even though you got here with the Six of Wands, oh, it's probably these cards are still here, right? Yes. Like we got here with the Six of Wands, you know, you want public recognition, you want people around you to see how amazing you are, but the universe wants you to remind you that there's already forces doing that. You know, the universe is watching you and seeing how amazing you are and seeing how successful you are. So let's end with a quick recap. Okay, so to recap everything that we went over, you are feeling very abundant, even if the abundance isn't manifesting in your life. At the same time, even though you feel abundant, you also feel restricted by external circumstances outside of your control. When you look at yourself or at your situation that you're thinking about, you kind of feel like maybe it was a false start. You know, when you did it, when you first started doing this, you were inspired, it felt like the right thing, but now you're not so sure and you're a little concerned that it was a false start, it was a dud. Beneath you, on a subconscious level, you know that this is something worth celebrating, and the universe is celebrating that with you already, you know, with the loving eyes bit. You know, you're being watched by loving eyes who are celebrating everything that you are, everything that you create at all times, but especially this thing. In the recent past, you had to make a decision. And like I said, you're worried that this decision was the wrong decision that led to a false start, but because this is the Lovers card, and the Lovers is about finding that which brings us our highest happiness, even though you're worried that you made the wrong choice, I believe that you made the right choice. In your near future, you have the King of Cups, meaning that you will be in a place where you feel more emotionally balanced and compassionate and able to forgive others. You view yourself in the situation as someone who's not very capable of communicating the things that you need to communicate about the situation. And the people around you view you as someone who has a lot of potential, who can create and be an amazing leader, but who is maybe investing their energy unwisely at this time. What you hope for is for public recognition, for people around you to see how smart and prosperous and abundant you are. And your outcome is you're going to be able to see life for the adventure that it is. You're going to be able to approach life with that sort of adventurous, almost childish, fun attitude that the Fool has. And by doing that, you'll be able to find success. Right. And it will be easier to reach this full energy if you simplify your life and leave behind anything or anyone or anything or anyone's opinions that hold you back. When you need help or guidance, you know, call on the stars, the universe to help you and listen to the voice of your soul. And remember, you're being watched by loving eyes. You're always supported, and the universe is already celebrating. You know, the universe is already at this step of like public recognition and celebration, even if your material world isn't quite yet. So rest assured in the knowledge that it is worth celebrating, and there already are forces and energies celebrating as it should be, because it is something that's worthy of celebration. So that was your reading. I hope that recap was good. Hopefully as good as the first one. I had a great time doing your reading, and I hope you did as well. And most importantly, I hope that you found it helpful, and that it gives you some clarity on whatever it is that you're seeking clarity on. Feel free to check the link to my Patreon down in the description box below. But either way, regardless, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.